Hello everyone, welcome back to another card making video. I'm going to show you how I've made this reveal wheel card where the wheel acts as an interactive part of the scene instead of a sentiment. This card is inspired by a card from Megan Quinn. She's a wonderful card maker and I linked her Instagram in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. Spreek je Nederlands? Er is ondertiteling beschikbaar. I already colored and die cutted my images off screen. All of the images are from Lawn Fawn and stamped in Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink. The fox and the net are from Butterfly Kisses and the fairies are from Unicorn Picnic and A Little Sparkle. I stamped the net on vellum, which I heat set with a heat tool to make sure the ink doesn't smudge, and on my regular coloring paper. I carefully cut the actual net part of the regular paper one. Now, with a craft knife, I'm carefully cutting out the inside of the hoop. I now can glue this piece onto the net that I stamped on vellum. This way, the net part will be see-through. I cut a reveal wheel front out of watercolor paper with the square reveal wheel die. I used one of the windows from the regular reveal wheel to cut out the window. I used Distress Oxide picked raspberry to cover about 2/3 of the front from the top down with a blending tool. I have the spray bottle where I mix some water with a little water-based metallic silver paint and I shake it really well to add some drops to my background. I dab the excess off with a paper towel. I'm left with these shimmery spots on my background. I repeat these steps with the wheel I cut out of some watercoloring paper as well. By the way, if you like my videos, you can support my channel by subscribing. It's totally free to do so. If you already are a subscriber, thank you! I cut some pieces of watercoloring paper with the square reveal wheel die so I can cut some clouds out of it. I used the puffy cloud borders from Lawn Fawn for this. I don't want the clouds to be in front of the window, so I laid a piece of my reveal wheel front so that I can see where to put the die. I used one of the smaller cloud dies from the same set to cut the next layer of clouds. Now, with a blending brush and Distress Oxide worn lipstick, I go around the edges lightly to give the clouds a little color. I layer everything together and lay the fox and net in place. With one of the Sandy Beach accent dies, I now know where to cut the opening for the fox. It will look like he sunk into the clouds for a bit. I continue with gluing the net to the fox. I want the net to be in the same line as the arch of the window, so it will be covered by the net. I also want to achieve that there is room for a whole fairy to be seen through the vellum net piece. When that's the case, I continue with gluing the clouds to the front. I'll make sure that I don't put glue close to the opening we made for the fox, otherwise it will be hard to get him in. Out of some white cardstock, I cut some clouds using two of the Simply Puffy cloud frames. I glue one on the left and one on the right. It's only glued on about half of every cloud. I cut off the excess. Now it's time to put the reveal wheel together. I've cut another wheel out of some glitter paper. I have a generic circle die in my stash that perfectly fits on the embossed line of the wheel. That's the part that divides the part seen through the window and the part on the side where you spin the wheel. I cut the middle out of the glitter paper wheel and I glue what's left on the wheel I ink blended earlier. Now let's put the wheel together. I cut a little circle and put a mini brad to it. I close it off and on the back I'm adding some thick foam tape. I cut another reveal wheel front but without a window this time. I'm putting the wheel behind the front with the window and I move it down till you can't see any more glitter. I do the same on the right. Then I use some purple tape to hold everything in place. Then I line it up with the other reveal wheel front I cut and press down the wheel so the foam tape will stick. I take the front off and peel off the purple tape. Now I can put thick foam tape all around, making sure nothing touches the wheel so I can add the front to it. Now it's time to glue in the fairies. I glue one on and spin the wheel till she's just out of sight and then glue in the next one. I continue like this till all 4 fairies are glued in. This way you end up with a part that's empty, which is fun when you give or send a card to someone, because it will still be a little bit of a surprise what will happen when they spin the wheel. I prepared a square white card base. With the biggest stitched scalloped square frames, I cut a frame out of some orange polka dot paper which will match the color of the fox. I glue this onto the card. Then, with the same die, I cut a square out of some shimmer white cardstock and with some glue tape I glue this inside of the frame. Now, with some score tape I glue the reveal wheel to the card. I can now glue the fox onto the card. I open the slot with my tweezers so I can put his paw inside. I put some glue behind his bottom part and behind his head, not in between to prevent from the image looking pressed down with the cloud. I put a tiny dot of glue at the top of the net and hold it in place with my tweezers for a little bit till it's dry, so that the net stays flat on the card and you can see the fairies going in through the vellum. I cut an arrow with a little arrow die from the reveal wheel set and flip it over so it's pointing the right direction. Otherwise, the fairies would come out of the net instead of going in. And with that, my card is finished. This card is a fun way to use the reveal wheel as an interactive part of the scene instead of being a piece for the sentiments. You can experiment with it and have a lot of fun with it. Also, think about putting an image up on the wheel with some foam tape to make it move from one side to the other. I think the vellum part of the net turned out great. It's so fun seeing the fairies through it. Thank you so much for watching and I hope I inspired you to get creative with the reveal wheel. If you liked my video, please consider leaving a thumbs up, subscribing to my channel and ringing the bell to receive a notification when a new video is up. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye!